Hello, welcome to Boardgame Basecoats, and today we are playing through Dead of Winter. Now, I do like the game, and I try to play it every winter at least. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the characters. First off, we have Daniel, the sheriff, at 2 attack, 5 search. Fatima at 4 attack and 2 search. Next up, we have Thomas, the soldier, at 1 attack and 3 search, and Roberta, the Mrs. Claus, at 2 attack and 3 search. Opposite, we have Bev, the mother, at 2 attack, 4 search, and John, the student, at 3 attack and 3 search. And finally, we've got Loretta, the cook, at 2 attack and 4 search, and Hugo, the bike messenger, at 2 attack and 2 search. Now, I chose these at random, and it was total chance that it was one guy, one girl. Here's our objective. So to win, we all have to get 12 total research points, and we have 6 rounds to do it and 6 morale. So if either of those drops to 0, we lose. So if you've never played the game before, I have here 6 boards, and I'm putting 1 zombie on each one of these locations. I do have the expansion, so I do have more locations, but I usually just play with the 6 because the other expansions do add quite a bit of complexity, and I do like the game just as is. Now, I have put the Crossroads deck and the other Survivor deck on this board just to keep it all in one spot. Let's go ahead and jump the gun a little bit and check out our crisis. And here we go. We've got the fuel shortage, so we have to get 1 fuel per player. Let's go ahead and get started. As if the colony needed to smell any worse. Now we're storing corpses where we once kept our food. Studying the bodies might help identify how to stop the plague. Better to figure out the quickest, cheapest way to commit suicide. Everyone else is excited to help, but all this project will do is tell us what we already know. The dead come back and eat you. Still, if we do come up with a cure, I'll be first in line. Now that narrative is a abridged version of the original, so definitely please check it out. Let's start off here with rolling our dice. So the game runs on actions. Now you use dice for some of those actions, and other actions don't require dice at all. So, for example, the attacks and the searches require dice equal to or greater than those numbers. Now, each player will go and do all of their actions, and then the next player will go. So what the players are supposed to be doing is watching the current active player and trying to determine if they are a potential traitor. So, I challenge you guys as you watch this video. Do you think there is a traitor? And if so, who is it? Alright, so that all said, let's go ahead and get started. Here's the crossroad card. We'll see if that happens at the end of this player's turn. And let's see what they do. So first off, they're going to contribute to the crisis. Okay. Next up, Fatima here is going to go ahead and move to the gas station. So we do need gas for this crisis. So off she goes. Now normally you'd roll this red exposure die. That said, she does have an ability as the athlete to ignore it if she discards a card, so removes it from the game. So she's going to go ahead and do that here. Alright, so she does not roll exposure. Exposure tends to be bad, so there are blank size, but there's also frostbite, there's straight damage, and even getting bit, which is an instant death. Now, she's going to go ahead and search here, so she needed a 2 or better, so she's going to set aside that 2 die, and an automatic success. So there we go. She's got that card. And she found an outsider, so she found somebody at the station. Great. So we're going to go ahead and draw from the Survivor deck and see who it is. So we have found Greybeard. Now, I'll let you all know right now, I do make an error, and I often forget it. If you do add additional people, you get additional dice. I always forget this. Here we are. She's going to go ahead and spend food. So she found an extra person, and now she's going to throw some food down. We'll go ahead and deal with the food later. And it is still her turn. Well, it is still this player's turn. She's going to go ahead and search again, this time spending a 3. Again, all she needed was a 2 or better. So we've added another card, and we're going to go ahead and search a 3rd time. So there we go. This time we're going to spend that last die, the 6, and there it is. Alright, so this time she found a switchblade. Now she's going to equip it herself. Now the cool thing about finding items is you can equip any of your people, either at the location or back at the colony. Alright, so that pretty much should wrap up everything for this player, except they're going to go ahead and play another card to that crisis. Okay, and there we go. Now we checked to see if the crossroad, they did what happens, or the trigger on the crossroad, and this one did trigger. So there are basically 2 options there. So this player chooses the second option, I do believe, and for that they have to roll a die, and if they got a 4 or better, they do. Success. Okay, so they avoided some negative effects there, and in general those crossroads cards do have negative effects. Alright, next up here we have Bev and the student here. So they've gone ahead and set aside their die. They are also going to contribute to the crisis and also going to pay for some food. Alright, so nothing suspicious so far. Now I have this die here, so when you spend certain cards, they go to the discard pile, and if you have too much, you also can lose. Now, I use the die because I get sick of picking up the deck and counting how many cards are in that trash pile, so I highly recommend the die. There's their crossroad cards. Now then, John is going to also go ahead and head to the gas station, and we're going to stick with him, and he's going to go ahead and spend the 5 die there to go ahead and search. Alright, so you can continue to search by making noise, but this could potentially draw more zombies. Now then, what Bev has done here is spent any die to put a barricade up. Now I play the barricades pretty free and loose, so she doesn't spend another die to put up another barricade. Technically you don't spend the barricade against zombies until all the spaces are full, but I go either way. I figure the zombies are dumb, and so please keep that in mind too. Now it's Loretta and Hugo's turn. There's their crossroad card, and they've got some pretty good rolls there. They are first going to contribute to the crisis. Okay, so 3 for 3 so far. They're going to go ahead and spend the 4 die. So Loretta has this ability here at the bottom. She can cook. Alright, so she doesn't need a card to produce. Oh, there we go. So 2 food for the colony. So the colony looks like they have plenty of food, and we'll see how that resolves later. Next up we have Hugo. Alright, so Hugo's going to go ahead and move out of the colony. So off he goes, and he is headed for the police station. Now, this is my favorite location to go to pick up weapons. Alright. He rolls for exposure and is clear. Now, each of the locations has a different ratio of items. So if you want weapons, what he's doing is searching. He needed a 2 or better. He's going to spend this 4 die to do so. So he's searching at the police station to hopefully find some weapons. Oh, oops, you didn't see that. Everything's a secret. Alright, so Hugo again is going to go ahead and search. And this time he's going to spend the 6 die again. He just needed a 2 or better. And there's that die. So he found an assault rifle. Okay, so this is a pretty awesome weapon. And he himself is going to arm this weapon. Alright, so they are again going to contribute to the crisis. And that wraps up their turn. Did they fulfill the crossroad? No, they didn't. So we're going to move on. Thomas and Roberta are going to go. There's their crossroad. So I'm of 2 minds, of the crossroad cards. Oftentimes it seems like they just don't fire. Some of the triggers are very specific. Anyway, they contributed to the crisis just like everyone else. Thomas here is headed also for the police station, maybe to pick up some weapons, and he rolls for exposure and he's clear also. Great. Alright, so we're gonna keep with Thomas here, And he needs a 3 or better to search, or a 1 or better to attack. He decides to spend that 4 die to search. Alright, so hopefully he'll find something useful. Alright, now we have another die. And this time Thomas is going to build a barricade over there at the police station. So hopefully to give them time to do their searches in case the zombies appear too quickly. And now Roberta is also going to build a barricade, but this one is at the colony. So that wraps up their turn. They did not fulfill their crossroads, so we'll go ahead and move on. So here we are at the colony phase. First we feed everyone. You add the number of people, divide by 2. Now that's only people at the colony. Next we check trash. See how easy this is? Check the die. Check the die. Next up, we're going to check our crisis. Okay, so we need 1 fuel icon per player. All right, so we need a total of 4 icons. Now what I just did was shuffle the cards off screen. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so all fuel so far, so nothing too suspicious there. Now, according to this card, if we have an excess of fuel cards, we can improve our morale, which is awesome. So we have 2 extra fuel cards, so morale goes up, and there it is. So 7. So everyone is pretty happy so far about our first crisis there. Cool. Now, I'm going to let you all know, I actually forget a step here, and that is to spawn zombies. I will move on here, and then I realize I forget it, so don't worry, the zombies will spawn. They're just going to spawn a little bit late. Alright, so anyway, we're going to move the first player knife on to Bev and John, and then we're going to go and roll their dice. Alright, so this time they've got a 5, a 3, and a 4, yes, or a 6 rather. Loretta and Hugo are going to roll their dice. Yeah, so even if you don't roll well, you always can do something, whether it's building a barricade or simply spending the die to remove trash. So having good rolls is not essential. So it just adds that little bit of tension because, wow, sometimes you just need that little extra to accomplish some attack or a search. And I find that searching is far more important than attacking for whatever reason. Alright, so we're going to move on here. And, we forgot the crisis. So this time we've got food spoilage. So we need food icons equal to the number of players. And the crises usually turn out that way. And they contribute 1 food there. Great. Now then, John here is going to go ahead and search. So he needs a 3 or better. He's going to spend this 3 die. And there we go. It's an automatic success. So we are sticking with John. And he is going to go ahead and search again. So again, we're not really in need of fuel, which has the highest ratio at the gas station, but there are other things to be found. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and stick with John once again. And keep on searching. So again, 3 or better. And we're going to use that 6 die. It is the last die. And now they got a handful of cards. And we're going to spend 1 of the cards from the gas station. It is a double outsider. Alright. And one of them is this. A helpless person. I always forget the term. Useless person, whatever. But we do get to draw a card. And look at that. I promise I didn't plan this. We've got the complete set of mall Santas. Alright, so we've got this guy. Now his special ability is you can chuck him to improve morale. Alright, so they are going to spend a food card. Now that puts our trash pile up to 3. And yeah, so they added to the colony those extra mouths, but they also threw some food down. Suspicious or not? Anyway, it's Loretta and Hugo's. By the way, their crossroads card did not pop. I realized that didn't show up in the video. Now then, Loretta here, we're going to use her special ability once again. She is a food crankin' fiend. Alright, so she's actually one of my favorite characters. I was really happy to get her. So we're going to spend the 4 die to put 2 food down. And there we go. Plenty of food to feed the colony. Yeah, for the characters not at the colony, they're assumed to fend for themselves. I suppose they're eating rats or something. Alright, so just checking out the card there, just to make sure, because no one has been attacking yet. But Hugo here, armed with his assault rifle, can definitely go ahead and do that. Alright, so he's going to spend this 4 die to get rid of that zombie. Alright, which starts us off here towards this goal. Alright, so we're going to roll this die. As long as we get a 4 or better, which we do, that means we get a research token. Alright, there we go. Very nice. Now then, we're going to stick with Hugo here, and he's going to go ahead and search, so he's going to spend this 6 die and pick up a card. Alright, and they are going to contribute to the crisis, and that wraps them up. They did not trigger their crossroads. So, next up, Thomas here, and their crossroads set aside. They are going to contribute to the crisis. Alright. Looks like they have some pretty good rolls too. Now then, Thomas here needs a 3 to search. Alright, so we're going to set aside that 3. Now remember, he is at the police station. They have not played any weapons yet. Let's see what he gets. Here's where I realize, yeah, I forgot to add zombies. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add those zombies now. There are 2 characters at this location, so 2 zombies appear. The colony is different, so you add the total number of colonists there and divide by 2. Rounding up. Now here, for whatever reason, I decided not to put the person down. I can't remember what the reason was. I think probably, I don't really remember, but anyway, as you can see, I let them hit the barricades and die. Alright. Technically not supposed to do that, but I do it sometimes, just because, I figured they kind of went for it. Alright, so anyway, Thomas here is going to go ahead and take out those zombies, and that means we get to roll 2 more dice for these zombies to see if we collect samples. Alright, from no samples to all of a sudden, yep, 3 samples. Alright, so not too shabby right off the bat, and we are still 5 rounds away from the end of the game. Alright, with our last die, Roberta here is going to go ahead and build a barricade at the colony. And I do believe at this point I do play the barricades correctly. They did not trigger their crossroads. Next up is Daniel here and his group. Again, they should have an extra die, but I always forget it. Anyway, Daniel's going to head to the grocery store, and he's going to roll for exposure. And he is clear. So I have to admit, this was the biggest string of this kind of luck that I've ever had on this game. I can't believe no one's gotten any damage or frostbite or anything. Anyway, his search is 5 or better. He's going to go ahead and spend that 5 die, a little belated there. And going to go ahead and go again, this time with the 6 die. So another item. Alright, and on the other side of town, Fatima here is going to go ahead and attack. Alright, because as you can see, zombies there are a bit full. Alright, so she does attack, and we're going to roll this exposure die, and whew, clear. Alright, as I say, a nice string. Alright, so we've got plenty of bodies here. We have another body here rather, and we're going to roll, and another success. So this is great. So far so good, and I'm sure the trader, if there is one, is not too happy about it. Anyway, that ends their turn. Their crossroad did not trigger, and we are back to the colony phase. So from here on, I do believe things go pretty smoothly. So first we feed everybody. Next up we check our trash. We've only got 3 cards in there. Great. We're going to go ahead and check our crisis. Alrighty. And I do have to say, step by step, this game plays pretty cleanly. I do appreciate that about the game. So 1 food. Alright, 2 food, and 3 food, and... Uh-oh. Did we make it? Dun dun dun. No, we didn't. Alright, so we did not have enough food in there. Who didn't play food? Can you remember? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and spawn our zombies, so we add the number of people. Oops, there. I guess I didn't do the barricades like you're supposed to. That's fine. So we have 3 zombies spawned, but 1 died there on barricade, which is fine. 2 people appear at the police station, or rather 2 zombies at the police station. 1 more will appear at the grocery. And by the way, the kid zombies kind of creep me out. Anyway, 2 zombies are supposed to appear here at the gas station, but we're full. So that means somebody dies. So that means we compare their influence. Fatima has 59, and John here is 18, so guess who dies? Bye, John. Alright, so John is dead, and that means we lose another morale point. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and check our victory conditions here. We, of course, did not make it yet. I'm just going to slide those tokens up out of the way. Great. Alrighty, and move our turns down. We've got 4 left. We're going to move on to a new first player, rather. It is the Loretta team. And let's see what they've got to do. Alright, yep. Let's check out our new crisis. It is a blizzard. We're going to need fuel cards. Alright, so back to fuel. It always seems to me that fuel is something that we really need. So I often find myself sending characters to the gas station or to the police station. I want weapons and I need gas. Alright, that's usually how that goes. Alright, so let's see what we've got. So Hugo here, looks like we're going to search with him. So we're going to set aside the 3 die. We just needed 2 or better. And so we searched. Great. And we are going to attack. And with our assault rifle, we kick pretty good butt. Alright, so we're going to spend the 6 die and boom, 2 zombies gone. Alright, looks like we found a pistol, and we're going to go ahead and arm our cook here. Great. And again, I do appreciate that the person searching does not have to run back to the colony and hand it over. You only do that kind of transfer to armed items, okay? So anyway, we've rolled here for those corpses to see if we got research token. Looks like we got 1 out of the 2. Not bad. Alright, moving on. Good. And Loretta here is going to go ahead and cook again for the colony. Oops, not cook. She's going to go ahead and build a barricade. Not cook. Suspicious. Anyway, they do trigger. Alright, they do trigger their crossroad card here. So, what can we do to deal with it? Yeah, we're going to remove that card to deal with it. Alright, so now then it's Thomas and Roberta's turn. There's their rolls, not too high, but again, even if you don't roll high, there are still plenty of things you can do. Alright, there's their crossroad card. They're going to go ahead and spend food because our cook didn't produce food. Anyway, that adds some trash. And I do like and they're going to contribute to the crisis as well. Alright. So I do like the game, you know, with the right group of people, you're just throwing suspicions around, and even if someone does something good, you kind of suspect them anyway. Anyway, Roberta also heads to the gas station, and she's going to go ahead and search, so she spends that die, and she's going to go ahead and attack this time, so she attacks pretty well. So a 2 or better, so she spends that die, and there we go. So it removes a zombie. And let's roll for exposure. And here's where the luck starts to run out. Uh-oh. So she automatically dies. And the bad thing is that it's an infection. So the infection spreads. So Fatima also must roll. And she gets frostbites. All right. So this ends the good streak. All right. So frostbite for her. We'll see what happens with that later. And they're going to go ahead and produce more food for the colony. Alright, so despite the loss, still cranking out that food. Great. And Thomas isn't done. He spends a die to build another barricade over there. And their crisis did not trigger. So we're going to go ahead and cash in this zombie, see if we can't get some research out of it. And we do. So despite the death there, a productive round. Alright. So, next up is the Daniel, Fatima, and Gray team, and you did notice I did drop the morale there, and we've set aside their crossroad card. We have to deal with this frostbite, which means Fatima gets damaged. We're going to go ahead and spend 2 medicine cards, 1 from the grocery store and 1 starting item, which adds to our trash, but it gets rid of both the wound and the frostbite. Okay, so Fatima has recovered. So let's go ahead and roll our die here. And, you know, I played the steps pretty free and loose, but in general, again, the game is very understandable, and I very rarely forget anything, except for a few things. All right, anyway, Daniel here is going to go ahead and use his special ability. All right, so he's going to spend 4 to take out 2 zombies. Great. And the special ability says he just has to roll exposure once. Whew, and luck has returned. All right, so he's free and clear. Great. And now then, we're going to go ahead and search with Daniel, and he needs a 5 or better, which he does have. There we go, a card for the grocery store. All right, we're back to Fatima, and she needs to get a 2 or better to search. All right, there it is. Now then, they are going to go ahead and feed the crisis, so they've added perhaps some fuel to the fire there. Now then, we got some bodies to roll, so we're going to go ahead and roll our dice here. Again, a 4 or higher, and we've split it. So 1 success and 1 fail. That puts us to 7. All right, so we're more than halfway there, and they did not trigger their crossroad card. Next up is Bev's team, and we're going to go ahead and roll their dice. All right, so a 1, a 2, and a 5. All right, so nothing too fancy. And Bev is going to go ahead and go. Now then, she has an ability here that allows her to, if there is a useless survivor in the colony, to kill zombies that are around. All right, so they're taken care of. Way to go, Bev. And now it's Forrest's turn. He's going to head out and head for the gas station. Everyone going to the gas station. Now he has an attack of 2, as just like Mrs. Claus did. So he's going to go ahead and spend the die to attack her. He's going to go ahead and roll for exposure, and he is clear. All right, great. So Mall Santa survives, and he will attack again. Great. So spend the die, and there goes the creepy zombie kid. Great. So let's roll for exposure one more time, and frostbite. Okay, so I'm noticing the trend. It's the Santas that are causing problems. Anyway, frostbite for him. And Bev is going to go ahead and spend a die to remove some of the trash to clear this pile. So we were at 7. We remove 3 cards. Okay. And now we're down to 4. Alright, so trash pile is better. Now then, we got plenty of bodies here to roll for. Great. So we're going to roll 1 die per zombie and see how many research we can glean out of it. All right, looks like we get a good haul. So 1 fail, but 3 successes. That is awesome. All right, so that brings our total to 10 research tokens, just like that. And that puts us just 2 away. They're also going to spend a medicine card, which adds to the trash pile, but that gets rid of the frostbites. Great. So that takes care of their turn. Their crossroads card did not trigger, so we're back to colony phase. So first off, we feed the people at the colony. Easy enough. We check our trash. No problem. We'll check our crisis. Now then, we need fuel canisters. We need 1 per player. Did every player contribute? No, we've only got 2. So we definitely lose some morale there. Alright, let's go ahead and check our objective here. Alright, so once again we need 12 total. Alright, so right now, unless I miss my count, we're at 10. So we need 2 more. There we go. Our turn marker goes down. Okay. And again, a little out of order, but we're going to go ahead and spawn our zombies right now. So we need 2 zombies at the colony. Alright, and now we do it right. So there is a barricade there, but we're going to spawn around them. And we need 2 zombies here at the gas station. 2 zombies at the police station. And 1 zombie at the grocery store, but you notice I forget. I will remember later. So don't worry, that zombie will be popping up soon. Alright, so that player's just checking our objective there, and our new crisis is a zombie surge. Alright, so we need some tools to try to block off those zombies. Alright, so here's their crossroad card for poor lonely Thomas right here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and contribute to this zombie surge. Great. Enough to make anyone nervous. We're going to go ahead and roll our dice here. He's got a 1, a 3, and a 5. Okay, so he will go ahead and attack. Alright, so he's going to attack at his location. Basically, any die will work, so a 1 or better. Alright, but is that really what he wants to do? Or does he want to search? Okay, looks like we're going to go ahead and attack. Alright, so we'll take out one zombie. Roll for exposure. Now keep in mind, if you do roll the bite and die, yes, it's possible to completely kill yourself out of the game. Alright, so anyway, this time he's going to search, so spend the 3 die to pull a card. And still on Thomas here, he's going to search one more time. What is he looking for? Alright, so that ends Thomas's turn. Crossroad did not trigger. We did have one zombie die, so let's go ahead and roll for it. And see if we get a research token. We do not. Alright, so no research that time. Next up, Daniel, Fatima, and Gray. Yeah, here's where we forgot that we didn't have a zombie there, so we rectify that. Great. There's the crossroad card. Moving on with the turn as normal. Let's go ahead and roll the die. We get good rolls, so 4, 4, and 5. Good enough to do just about anything, I do believe, with this team. First up, Fatima. Alright, so attack of 4, search of 2. And we're going to go ahead and spend that 4 die to attack. Alright, so Fatima's first time attacking. Let's see how she does. She's clear. Alright, great. So, no wounds, no frostbite, no infection. So, we're sticking with Fatima. And she's going to go ahead and attack again. So, spending that 4, getting rid of that zombie. But this time, let's roll that die and... Ooh, this time, no. Fatima dies. Alright, so she is gone. So, really, this is a game where you can't get too attached to your survivors. Anyway, let's see if our Santa survives. He simply gets wounded. Alright, so he's wounded in that struggle. We did lose Fatima, so the morale did go down. Wound to our poor Santa there. And Daniel, what are you going to do? He's going to go ahead and spend that 5 die to search. Alright, so hopefully he'll pull something useful. He's the only one at the grocery store, and he throws something down towards the crisis. Alright, so despite the horrors of that round, we had 3 zombies, so this is it, yep. Or 2 zombies, and there we go. That should be enough, yes indeed, to fulfill the main objective. So, if we have a traitor, now is their chance to really sabotage things. Alright, so we're going to spend a medicine card here with Bev's team. That adds to the trash pile. And are we going to go with Bev, or are we going to go with our mall Santa here? So let's go ahead and roll our dice. Ooh, low rolls. That might not be good. So 2, a 3, and a 3. Now then, Bev has her ability. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and spend 2 to remove those zombies. Just more zombies for the pile. And that pretty much wraps their turn. Alright, so... Wait a minute, they still had 2 die. Why didn't they use those dice? Did they forget? Anyway, more zombies for the end of game. We've moved on. It's Loretta and Hugo's turn. There's their crossroad card. Let's go ahead, and they're going to pay into the crisis. Wait a minute. Has everyone paid into the crisis? We're pretty close to dying that way with morale. Anyway, 1, 2, and 3. Hugo here is 2 and 2. He's going to go ahead and spend the 3 to continue searching. What are they searching for? All right. And another search. All right. So still searching. Oops, there. Took out Daniel. Daniel's back. All right. And they are contributing. Okay, they're contributing to the pile. Great. And they did not trigger their crossroads. So, colony phase. So first off, we feed everybody. We did not have enough to feed everybody. So what happens is we throw a starvation token down and don't touch the food. Trash is okay. We are at 6. Let's check the crisis. Did everyone contribute? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everyone contributed. We cleared it. Okay, so no problem there. Down a turn. Oops, there. No. Check that first, and then it'll be down a turn. Alright, so, yeah, success. So, technically we've won. Now then, here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about our people here. We have Thomas. Alright. Let's look at his hand. Help you, audience at home. Do you think he was the traitor? Alright, so fuel. Wow. We had some people there. Interesting. He chose not to find them. Alright, okay. Next up, Daniel and Gray, and they lost Fatima. Alright, so Daniel here was our copper. He went out, and he was hanging out at the grocery store the entire time. Weird, huh? And then we had Graybeard here. He didn't do too much, did he? Let's check out their hand. Alright, food, medicine. Okay. There's a food 3. That's a lot of food. Next up, Bev and Forest. Alright. So Bev was pretty much of the colony, kicked some butt there. We had our mall Santa here, who ran out after the Mrs. Claus and kicked some butt. Let's check out their hand. Medicine and medicine. Alright, nothing too suspicious there, I suppose. And finally, we've got Loretta and Hugo here, both of whom had some weapons there. Alright. Armed to the teeth there. Alright, and pretty much Hugo spent the entire game at the police station with his assault rifle. I mean, he definitely took out plenty of zombies for the cause. Loretta never fired a shot, I do believe. Let's check out their hand. Wow. Plenty of survivors, potential survivors, and a little medicine there. Alright, let's go for the reveal. Alright, so Thomas was not the traitor. Alright, so he was a loner. So we did have a success, so great. And he could only control one survivor. Oh, so he sacrificed Mrs. Claus. So Daniel and Gray here had hope, and they needed 2 helpless survivor tokens on the board. Alright, so we checked the board, and there was only 1. Alright, so they did not find all those rescuee cards that everyone else seemed to find. Next up, we have the collector. You have to have at least 4 cards in your hand. No, only had 2. Just kept spending the items. It was the healing. That's what did it. Loretta and Hugo, not the traders. Alright, and then everyone had to have an item equipped, so they were successful. So there we go. We did not have a trader this time. How about that? We've done it. Maybe we know enough now to identify how to stop the plague. But that's not the same as having the cure. Not yet. Some of us say there is no hope. Some are just disappointed that they lost their stuff. But we've gained experience. And while there are still those of us that will always be loners, I can't help but think that there may be an end to the dead of winter. Alright, now that little blurb was something I wrote just for fun. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I certainly do enjoy the game every time I play it, and I hope that you'll stop by again to check out more playthroughs. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Have a happy holidays. Thanks a lot. Bye.